Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. It's June, and in a couple months, people who put their kids into the traditional school setting are soon going to start seeing all sorts of posts about back to school tips, especially those who are going to be registering their kids for kindergarten. And the other day, I happened across a screenshot of a post that was written by a parent with some advice that I have no doubt was well-meaning. That was for the parents of people or kids who will be going into kindergarten. And when I read the advice, I'm not going to lie, I was horrified. And I'm not going to share the entire post, and I'm not going to even leave a link to the post because I don't want to send any negative comments her way. But I just want to point out that you really, really need to think about the advice that you're listening to when it comes to school. So in order to do that, I'm just going to read a few sentences, and I'm going to break down my feelings and my comments on this. So here's just a part of it. Never, I repeat, never let your child hear you speak ill of their school. Sure, discuss it with your husband, talk to your friends about it, vent on Facebook, but you need to think of that school as another parent in your child's life. And then it goes on to say, my kids know my philosophy of whatever the teacher says goes. So those of you who have been here before probably already know what's coming. But for those of you who haven't, or for those of you who still want to stick around, I'm just going to go over 3 things about this passage that I just read to you. First of all, the part that says, never, I repeat, never let your child hear you speak ill of their school. Now, that in itself isn't particularly troubling, but what it is, well, yeah, actually it is troubling to me. Not as much as the other ones, but to never let your child hear you speak ill of their school, how do you know that that's never going to have to happen? How are your kids ever going to know how to do problem solving and how to deal with things in day-to-day life if you're fake about it? You know, I think that you should be honest with your kids, and I'm not saying that you should put down your child's teacher or put down their principal. The fact of the matter is that if your child is having trouble in school, don't pretend. Your child knows if something is going on. Don't be fake about it. Your kids are going to learn oodles more from how you handle situations like that if you're upfront about it. Now, the second thing, and the last 2 things, really, I honestly believe that if you take these things to heart and follow them, they can really be dangerous advice. And the first one is when she says, you need to think of that school as another parent in your child's life. If you saw my video that I made either last week or the week before about how schools usurp parental authority, this is the perfect example of that. And the scary part about it is that the school isn't even usurping this parent's responsibility. She is willingly giving parental authority to the school. Okay, she's telling you, you need to think of that school as another parent in your child's life. No, you don't need to think of a school as another parent in your child's life. You are your child's parent. So kids will have, their mother and father. Sometimes they'll have, just one parent. Other times they will have people who are their guardians. But the fact of the matter is that the school is not your child's parent. And if you willingly give that sort of authority to the schools, they are going to take advantage of it. Look at those schools up in, I think it was New England, who were giving out birth control to kids in middle school without the parents even knowing about it. You cannot do this. And I know that there are laws that give schools, what do they call it? In loco parentis, meaning that basically when you drop your child off at the school doors, you no longer have responsibility for them. They pretty much belong to the school. Do not willingly let that happen, and certainly don't go around telling people that it's okay if that happens. Don't tell people that the school is your child's other parent. No, it's not. A school is that's the job of the government. They want to have your kids in the school. They want to educate them. They want to teach them. What are you doing? They want you to teach, or they want your kids to be taught everything that they want your kids to know. But the fact of the matter is that those teachers, no matter how much they may care for your kids, they are not your kids' parents, and do not ever give that authority to them, ever, because that's really walking on dangerous grounds. And the next one, my kids know my philosophy of whatever the teacher says goes. I cannot begin to tell you on how many levels, again, how dangerous that is to tell your child that. Whatever the teacher says goes. Have you watched the news? All of the horrendous things that are going on in schools today. I read an article the other week about a little, I think she was in first grade, who was made to scrub the floor in her classroom with a toothbrush as punishment for something, I think for talking. Okay? And that's not even the worst of it. The thing that really comes to my mind is, just incident after incident after incident of of teachers grooming children and then having inappropriate relationships with them. And then this advice here says whatever your teacher says goes. No, that is not the case. Whatever the teacher says does not go. I'm not saying that you should tell your kids to not listen to the teacher, but for heaven's sake, don't make them think that you're not on their side. Your kids need to know that you are on their side if something should ever happen. And you really need to learn to be, moderate about that. You really need to use your head. I understand what you're saying when you say whatever the teacher says goes. But the way that society is today, no, you just can't even begin to say things like that, because who knows what the repercussions of that will be. What are you laughing at? So anyway, that is just my really quick advice that I'm going to give to you today. It's just, if you are sending your kids to school, just really be careful about where you're getting your advice from. I want you to remember that you are your child's parent. You need to be on your child's side, and you really, really do need to watch what is going on in your child's school. If you have to put your child in school, be involved. Check their homework. Just be as present as you can be. Show the teachers who the parent is. You are the parent. Do not ever feel like you are the second parent, because that is what happened when my kids were in school. I felt like the second parent because I constantly felt like I was having to listen to what the teacher and principal said that I should do with my own children. Don't let that happen. You are the parent, and I can't finish this video without urging you to at least look into the history of school, see what it's all about. Most people have no idea why it was even instituted in the first place. Check it out. Read anything by John Taylor Gatto. Your eyes will be open like mine was, and there's no going back once you know what the true intentions were. So if you do that, look in the homeschooling. I know that not everybody is going to homeschool their kids. I understand that. But honestly, you really do need to at least consider it, because our schools, they're just going downhill. And I just, you have to do what's best for your kids, but look into it. So anyway, if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to see more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave one down below. I will answer as soon as I can. And I hope you have a great day.